like that. And people were texting in, like, put this guy back in the broom closet.
Just getting everybody on your side. What's with baseball and weather? Come on, don't be so soft. It's just rain. Yeah. It's just moisture. You'll be fine.
You're gonna get wet. You know, the uniforms aren't made of cotton. They don't shrink.
Oh.
They're made of polyester.
Yeah, they seem to. And I was trying to remember the game yesterday. I was talking to you guys. I watched the game over the weekend. I just kind of had it on in the background one day. And I can't remember who it was, but it looked like a torrential downpour where the hitter's in the box. You see the drops coming off the bill of his helmet. You see just jerseys soaked. And I'm like, are they not going to call this thing? Which always leads me to believe, all right, they're getting constant updates on the weather reports. Yeah. So maybe they're saying, hey, this thing's going to move through in 10 minutes, and, it's not worth putting the tarp down. It's going to take us longer than that, and it's going to be clear by the time we get the tarp down, so we'll just deal with it. I don't know, because it was coming down. Yeah. And I'm like, they don't seem to be eager to stop this thing, so they must think it's going to stop soon, the weather anyway.
Hey, wasn't it a few years ago that Brash went out? Yeah. And was it in Chicago?
Yeah, it was Robbie Ray got the start.
Oh, it was Robbie Ray.
Yeah.
And, like, his cleats were all muddy, and it was just like... And he was a trooper, man. He was out there like, yeah, let's go. But,
it was a downpour.
I thought Brash was in that one, but I could be wrong. But, yeah, I mean, it's and it's really going to increase the crowd size. So there were dozens there last night.
Oh, dozens of loud Southsiders.
You could hear people, like the guy behind the plate on one of the shots, you could hear him screaming at the umpire, and you see his mouth moving, and it's like, wow, they picked that up pretty clearly.
Yeah, you also hear the thing about the small crowds is you hear the expletives. Mm-hmm. They're a lot clearer when it's not in mass and covered up by everybody else that's there. Yeah, it's not a big draw, that White Sox team, because they're kind of awful. But hey, they were holding this Mariners offense down for quite a while. I mean, it was a 1-1 situation, and it was a pitcher's duel going on out there until Julio Rodriguez steps up to the plate.
And with a sign delivers, swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field. Slater going back, and this one is gone. Goodbye, baseball. Grandma, get out the rye bread and mustard. It is grand salami time. Julio Rodriguez with a grand slam, his 8th home run of the season.
How about that?
That was fantastic, man. I think it was really important for him because he's had a good month so far.
Yeah, he's hitting almost 300 for the month.
Yeah. So, I mean, and, you see him come up with a big hit there. And I don't know. I mean, to me, that was him. I thought in my head, this is a superstar. This is what he's supposed to do, hit grand slams. And so maybe this will launch him to be a bigger part of the offense. Not that he's been bad, but he's been un-Julio-like. So, yeah, I loved seeing that. That was I thought that was really important for him.
Yeah, that was a huge moment, and more importantly, it broke the game open because, again, it was a pitcher's duel out there. Martin was dealing. I give that guy credit. I mean, he goes 7 1/3 and just gives up 4 hits, two earned runs, 1 walk. I mean, he was dealing for a team that there were moments up there offensively. They look like they're just kind of going through the motions. That's just not a good team. I mean, they're 14 34. They're a dreadful team. But I give him credit, and then Castillo was matching him, and it was a great outing from Castillo. And more importantly, we've talked about Castillo this year. A, he's not a guy who typically goes deep. B, he's been walking a ton of hitters. He didn't walk anybody yesterday. It was his best start of the season. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts. And once again, 4 games in a row now, you have limited the opposition to 1 run.
Yeah.
You've given up 4 total runs in the last 4 games.
The other thing, they've given up, the pitching staff, entire pitching staff has given up 6 walks in the last 4 games.
Yeah. So when you got 2 of them from Taylor yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, it's been incredible. So, and Castillo, I think there's lots of times, I don't know that you and I have ever said that's your ace. I mean, I guess when he was the ace, but last year I was just looking at his numbers. He had a couple of times where or actually 8 times where he gave up either 4 or 5 runs, and then 7 times where he gave up multi-homers. We talked about him, and so this year he's had a couple of bad outings. I mean, the one in Cincinnati, he gave up 6 earned runs, 5 earned runs in Toronto, but he's no walks yesterday, and he's starting to become little bit more solid. And I don't know if it's just because you're down with injuries with your pitching right now, rotation. But man, and we'll talk about it. But it's pretty fantastic what they have going right now. And now Castillo, with an outing like that, just kind of brings you back to the point that guy is the rock.
Yeah, it was a great outing by him. It was great to see that. It was great to see Julio come up with that hit. The home run, the grand slam was huge. Rosarena making a diving catch to get Castillo through the seventh, which typically Rosarena, we're not singing his praises when it comes to defense, but this was a big moment.
Into the wind, he delivers. Swung on, line drive left field. Here comes Randy. He goes to a dive. He tumbles. He's down. He makes the catch. Randy Arozarena. A tremendous catch in left field ends the inning. And Luis Castillo has gone 7 scoreless tonight against the White Sox. And he gets a little help from Randy Land.
Yeah, Randy, the last 2 things I remember, and I know that there's lots more that's happened. Well, 3, actually, if you count that screaming home run that he had in San Diego. That was fantastic, like a line drive. But, he had a throw home. I think it was in that Yankees series, because there's been a few off-target throws, offline, as they say. He kind of has been making up for it. And then, there's a couple other things that, you've seen from him where you're kind of like, it's kind of head scratching, but that was incredible. They challenged that play, I believe.
Yeah.
And so you saw in the slow motion, perfectly played that. And he's been really good. And it's good for every once in a while you just go, okay, we haven't really been focusing on Randy that much. He makes a couple of plays. It's always nice to get contribution. And I don't know if you call it ham and egg it or whatever, but they're kind of just putting it together right now amidst really a lot of injuries.
Yeah, they're finding ways to get it done. You got 3/5 of your rotation out, which
amazing.
Explain Casey Legumina is getting the start today.
Right.
We'll see how that goes, but that's the position you're in. You're doing it without members of your offense, with Victor Robles and Luke Raley out and Ryan Bliss out. So, you're overcoming a lot. They're dealing with a lot, and they're maintaining their spot in first place. They're winning series. They're obviously off to a tremendous start on a 10-game road trip. They've won the first 4, so that's fantastic, to say the least. And text coming in. I love this. Dave, Julio only hits against poor teams. Quit saying he's a superstar when he can't hit against the winning teams that are usually in the playoffs. Come on, man.
I said it was a superstar play.
He had a hit in every game against San Diego. San Diego's one of the best teams in all of baseball, with one of the best home records in all of baseball.
Yeah.
And he went 2 for 4, 1 for 4, 1 for 5. He had a hit in every game. In fact, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game hitting streak going on. He had a hit in every game against the Yankees. I believe the Yankees are a good team.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Look, I get it. It's become sport to rip on Julio and talk about what he does. I sent out a tweet after he hit that slam, like, Julio bomb, blah blah blah, whatever, and somebody sent in a response to it like, well, finally, he's still not playing like a superstar. I'm just like, really? He just hit a grand slam, and this is what you want to interject? Well, he's not doing this. I'm like, are you so committed to that being right about him not being a superstar? I'm going to ignore what he just did or what he's been doing and tell you why he's not.
Well, and to further solidify the case, why didn't you say anything when we were praising Castillo? About the White Sox, because if you go and look at their average on base, slug,
they're a bad
OPS,
team. They're terrible.
They're 27, 28, 29, and 30. Yeah, in those categories. So
it's a bad team.
Why not say that when we were talking about Castillo?
It's just
all he can do is face the team that
it's on the schedule, man.
Yeah, so it's I guess people just want to be negative, but you can look at his month and it's good.
Yeah, he's especially on the heels of him hitting a grand slam that somebody's immediately going to go, well, finally. He's still not playing like he should be. I'm like, okay, you're committed to that. So
it's not your money. Also,
we'll just let you run with it. Just go with it and enjoy the season. It seems like you're going to have a lot of fun. But yeah, it was. Look, another great day. I'm more impressed, not even with the offense, just that what they've done to limit what the opposition is doing. Yeah, the White Sox are not a good team. They don't hit well, but that's 4 games in a row you've held the opposition to 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
It's baseball, man. It's tough to do. The White Sox are going to beat teams. They may beat you today. We'll see what happens with Legumina, but they can hit at times. 1 run is still a big deal on the road on a team's home field. I'm going to give, somebody said, is it more, because I said another tweet that said Castillo's dialed in or he's rolling, something like that. And they were like, well, is it him or is it the White Sox because they stink? I'm like, well, it's much more him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not good. I'm not going to pretend like he's dominating the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Padres, but he's going out there doing a job against professional ball players and shutting them out through 7 innings. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But it was just a great day all the way around. And Dan Wilson after the game talking about Castillo and just talking about the success, what led to it.
He's done that a lot in his career. He's a veteran. He's been around. He knows what he's doing. And I thought he just the game plan he and Cal had was very good. The stuff that he had tonight was very good. And when you're ahead in the count, I thought his pitch count, he was able to keep that in check. That he got some early swings and some of the at bats to keep the pitch count down, and that allowed him to get deeper in the game. So just a great veteran effort all around, and a great game plan from the beginning.
Yeah, no walks goes a long way into helping that pitch count.
Yes, it does.
And that had been problematic. He and Bryce Miller lead the team in walks by quite a bit, and that had been problematic for him. That's raising his pitch count. He also had a lot of long at-bats where guys are up there fouling off pitch after pitch and driving that pitch count up. And yesterday was just a great example of efficiency and not giving a free pass to guys and making them earn it and put the ball in play. And it was a great day for him.
Yeah, and it just kind of solidifies, because I mentioned earlier 6 walks in the last 4 games is all this staff has given up, and just the development and how they're doing it. Yesterday on the way home, I think it was Gabe Spire that Shannon was talking to, interviewing, and he was just talking about what he learned from the coaches and how he starts out a game and everything, and it's just a philosophy. And yeah, I like Legumina's chances. Now I'm going to play the other side of, okay, well, maybe it'll be an easier landing for him because of that offense, the Chicago White Sox offense, because they pretty much suck at every category.
Yeah, they're not good.
And actually, even the Mariners' numbers in those categories were better last year than this team.
Yeah, and this White Sox team was horrific last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would expect another stadium full of tens of people out there, especially if the weather's bad on a Tuesday. There might be 75 people in the stands.
Oh, I know. Yeah, did Aaron go with the disclaimer there? You're going to hear some language here today. I don't know if he said that or not.
I didn't hear him say that.
The Bogan certainly didn't say that.
No
way. He's going to apologize for that. But
he's going to embrace it. Turn up that crowd, Mike.
Hey, Aaron, did you hear what that guy said?
I don't think you can say that, can you? Yeah. So it was. We'll see what it is today. You got to figure a Tuesday, a dreadful team with really bad weather. There's going to be a lot of seats that are going to be available for those Southsiders out there if they want to take in a game. I think they're going to have their pick of the lot out there. There might be in attendance 1,000 people. Yeah. We'll see what goes on there. But the Mariners, I'm curious, and you guys can answer this question on the text line, 866-979-3776. As you look at this team, and we've talked about what they're doing right now, you've got 3 of your 5 starters out. You got Robles out. You got Bliss out. You got Luke Raley out. Can this team make the playoffs as they are currently constructed? Or do you look at it, and we know that Kirby and Logan are on their way back, and presumably Miller as well. They made that pretty clear, that figured at the end of his IL stint he's going to be ready to come back. So in short order, you should have your full complement when it comes to the rotation.
Right.
I'm not sure where Raley's at in all this, and we'll see about Robles. But do you look at this and say, I think they have enough? Or do you look at it and go, yeah, this is great. I love what they're doing. They need more.
Yeah, I think if you get all of those guys back, which is realistic. Now I'm not so sure about Robles, but I've heard better news than I'm thinking, just because watching that injury and everything was like, oh man,
and then seeing him in the dugout with the big contraption on his arm.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So, if you were to ask me about just this team overall, what we talked about, I mean, they're actually top 10 in a couple of categories offensively right now. So, if they can just kind of maintain that. Now, is it sustainable was the question Mike asked, and I don't know. I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to. I mean, you're going to continue to get clutch hits from Rowdy Tellez, who is not great average, but in some key spots he's had some big hits. I'm not so sure about that, but all we asked for last year was middle of the road numbers to go along with this excellent pitching staff. And they're not going to get back to where, number one, just because you've had injuries with Logan and, and Miller and Kirby. But, I think if you can expect, let's say we expect a little bit less offensively, but we get our rotation back, it's sustainable to me. And, it's kind of interesting. And I know we got a bunch of pass and cuts here, but, man, I was listening to it this morning, and I've never heard him more bullish on the Mariners.
That's a big word for Jeff Passan. He's not typically bullish.
No.
They called him the wet blanket for a long time. Here he is weighing in on what the Mariners might do at the trade deadline.
He's doing fine. He's coming along.
That's not it. Sorry.
It is uncommon.
That's not it. What's going on here? I'm not sure what's going on with the machine here. We'll get to those coming up, but here we go. Here it is.
He's doing fine.
It's mislabeled. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
He was going on and on about Hancock and Evans, and it's talking about all the outings that they've had, and whether or not okay, can these guys be someone in the rotation that you don't have to worry about if it's long term, and then what do you do with those guys? Talking about possibly sending them into the bullpen and being like a long reliever, or see what because like one of the options was send them down, but I don't know, man. Especially Hancock, I feel like he belongs here.
Yeah, we'll see what they get done, how quickly those guys get back into their rhythm once they hit the rotation. But right now, let's take two.
Yeah, the Mariners are assuming they're playing, going with Casey Legumina as the opener tonight. And then Shannon Dreyer said they expect to activate Casey Lawrence again. That hasn't been official yet, but that's the expectation. The White Sox, meanwhile, they've signed a guy off the street, Adrian Hauser, to start tonight. The right-hander has been released from the Rangers organization on May 15th. He had 8 starts for their AAA team.
Lawrence got signed again, which means if he makes an appearance, they'll immediately DFA him after the game. Because he's been, DFA'd 4 times this season?
Yeah, and then once by the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
So,
poor guy.
What a travel schedule for that guy.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Legumina.
He's pitched really well out of the bullpen.
He's got a 2-inning game where he pitched 2, and then the end. The rest are 1 or a fraction. So
well, he's an opener, so they don't. Yeah. I don't think they're going to leave him out there for 5 innings or anything. But we'll see what their plan is with him and how they're going to piece this one together.
We'll get to some NFL rule changes and proposals coming up at 2:30, but this one has passed. So the league has unanimously passed a proposal allowing their players to compete in flag football in the 2028 Olympics in L.A.
There's going to be some big insurance policies out there, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I was telling you guys this story. This was a few years ago where there was a flag football team that was like, the best in the land or whatever, and they invited some NFL players to play with them, the defenders, and the guys on the flag football team were like, man, those guys hold. It's ridiculous.
Those guys are cheaters.
They were complaining about it. I don't know how you handle that. I mean, I was listening to Ryan Rowland-Smith talking about playing for your country. I think that's a big deal in almost any sport except for the NFL because of the injuries. I mean, and we talked about it yesterday. Like what was it, Mike? It was the 2,188th highest paid player was making like $750.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just too much money on the line, and
and anything can. Who was it? Was it Robert Edwards, running back for the Patriots, that blew out his knee playing in the sand?
He was never the same.
Playing flag football in the sand.
Yep.
Or was it the Pro Bowl? I think it was a Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl in Hawaii. They used to be there.
No contact, no, having fun. I mean, anything can happen, and the season means the world, as we know. I mean, but I don't really want to see any Seahawks out there. I don't want to see K9 out there or Anybody else, they plant, they cut. Who knows what's going to happen?
And I'm sorry, it's not football. Okay?
It's flag football.
It's flag football. It's not football. So, yeah, I guess if I'm an owner and certainly a coach, and then, the players themselves, I mean, maybe you get some guys that are backups or whatever that will want to do it, but I don't want any of my projected starters out there playing.
Yeah. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/Cyberknife Prostate. Coming up, the NFL might drastically change this week. We'll explain what that's about. Coming up next, it's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88, every day at 7:45 on Brock and Salk.
Will the Seahawks ever find another Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah, this was a cool comment from Pete yesterday.
Marshawn was such an attractive individual to bring into our program. And how many people will ever talk about Marshawn as being an attractive individual? Not many. But, he really was, I thought, the change maker for us there.
Blue 88 on Seattle Sports. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife. The other day we had Andy Ryder. He's the mayor of Lacey and a Swedish Cyberknife patient. And Dr. Landis from Swedish Cyberknife. They were in studio a couple weeks ago, and a few things that stood out about Swedish Cyberknife. The treatment there. Number one, it only takes 5 sessions. Andy was able to complete treatment in 1 week, Monday through Friday, while continuing to work full-time, and each treatment session lasts less than an hour. So he was able to remain comfortable during treatment. He had to wear street clothes, just walk right in, didn't experience any side effects other than mentioning he was a little bit tired. But you compare that with other treatment methods where you have to have surgery or have to have a catheter. I mean, it is night and day. Also, it was really cool to see the relationship between Andy and Dr. Landis. Andy held him in such high regard, and rightfully so. Dr. Landis is a multiple-time recipient of the Seattle Top Doc Award. So we talk about building a sports team and trying to find stars. Swedish Cyberknife truly has that. It's an all-pro roster of doctors and world-renowned experts in their field. Swedish Cyberknife treats patients from all over the state. Also, you don't even need a physician referral. You can just reach out to them directly. So if you've been diagnosed with prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
We at 3 Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Progressive Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance might be the easiest part of owning a home. Definitely easier than this.
Psst, honey. Honey! What? Shh, there's a salesman walking up the driveway.
Oh no, he's got a clipboard.
What do we do?
Get down.
Down?
On the floor, you...
Shoot, did he see us?
Why are you breathing so loud?
Home ownership isn't easy, but with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, shopping for home insurance is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $2,500 off an energy-efficient Bryant cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
When you have really good leaders, it makes it easy.
Gia arrived at Lee Johnson after 10 years at another dealership.
You know your job, but then you have people who you can rely on to help you with the big stuff that you need that support from. And I've gotten that every day with my service manager, with our assistant service manager, with even like our GM and our GSM. The way that, we're now on the showroom together, we are so close-knit just as a department. My service manager here, he's always open to teach you whatever you want to know. He just wants everybody to do good around him, and if somebody wants to learn something, I'm here to do it. And I've never had a service manager like that before. They're really good at promoting from within. That's one thing that I've learned from working here. I see people start out as a lot porter, and people work their way all the way up to being a general manager.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Synthetic Turf Northwest is now open in Fife, the South Sound headquarters for premium synthetic turf. They help homeowners with a turnkey solution, DIYers, and contractors and landscapers needing quality products. With premium turf in stock, expert advice, and pro installation services, everything you need is under one roof. Visit their new showroom off I-5 in Fife, Synthetic Turf Northwest. Supplies and installation expertise all in one place. Mention radio for up to $1,000 off. SyntheticTurfNorthwest.com.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 3 o'clock, El Hombre, Michael Bradley will join us on the program. Stay tuned for that. We'll turn you over to the Mariners pregame show at 3:30. You guys can text in throughout the show at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. And a reminder, if you miss any part of our show or you just want to go watch things over again, check out our Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page. You can search for Seattle Sports on all social media platforms to find segments like our conversations with Seahawks players, Mariner players, everybody we talk to. It's all right there for you if you're on social media. So there you go.
I like to sometimes give the 509 a hard time, but I like the 509. The 509 typically makes sense. So we were talking about the flag football thing. He said, agree. Why risk anyone over a fake game of football? That's what the players who don't make it are for.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
I don't want any of my starters out there.
How pissed would you be if Spoon was gone for the year?
I'd be hopping mad.
Yeah.
I would be. Yeah. Look, if they get hurt playing for the Seahawks, I'd still be bummed, but that's what they're paid to do. That's the business they're in. This isn't it. Playing flag football and I just picture somebody with the ball and planting, cutting, and grabbing the knee and just I don't even want to. I don't even want to envision it, man. It's a bad visual.
Well, it's kind of interesting because the Olympics used to be a huge deal. I think it still is. It still is to represent your country and everything. But I just remember thinking, that would be the greatest thing in the world. I wanted to be a decathlete because of Bruce Jenner. Yeah. And it was so much more important. But now, the NFL is just king. And again, it's not about football. I'm sorry. It's not about the game of football. It's not about flag football. It's the NFL. That's it.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. Look, have the 49ers, Rams, and Cardinals send all of their starters out there. Okay? And just tell them to go crazy. Just talk to them about the pride and how much it means and how hard they should really, really go after it. We'll throw the backups there with all due respect to the Seahawks backups, but just the guys at the back of the roster. Give them some time, give them some shine, and then hey, if they play well, great. If they don't, that's okay. But
I can hear the ACLs and the hamstrings snapping right now.
Yeah, let the rest of the division send their best, and we can just hang back and let them have that glory, and then dominate the regular season. That's what I'm hoping for. Meanwhile, speaking of the regular season, we have all these proposed rule changes. And the most popular in terms of just talking points and people having an opinion on is the tush push. And the Packers apparently have submitted a revised proposal because I don't think the other one was being received very well. So they submitted a revision of their rule proposal that would more broadly ban pushing or pulling the ball carrier anywhere on the field. And the proposal's updated language, quote, offensive players cannot assist the runner except by individually blocking opponents for him. The Packers also eliminated, quote, immediately at the snap in the updated language. So, look.
Bob, I know where you're at.
Oh, yeah. I think they're weak. I think they're lame.
Yeah.
I think the solution is something you brought up in the very beginning. Let the defense push.
Innovate.
Let them push. Say, all right,
yeah.
you can push the running back. You guys can all bunch up, push the quarterback, put whoever has the ball. You're all shoving them into the end zone. Well, let those linebackers and cornerbacks or whoever's out there get a running start and run right into the back of the defensive lineman. And, it's the opposite of a tug of war. It's they're going right at each other instead of pulling away. They're going right into each other, and may the best team win.
Well, and we used to have that. I remember probably one of the last times I ever did it was Carl Mecklenburg when I was playing in Denver. They told me to push him from behind for a field goal block, and he didn't know for whatever reason. And he said, I was wide open to block that thing, and somebody pushed me from behind. And I was like, dude, that was me. I was supposed to do that. Coach told me to do that. And I don't know why he didn't know. But, you used to be able to do that on that. Now, here's the thing that we talk about the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And, look, it's an unsafe game. But, I mean, that's one where I could see, if you are firing off the ball and, your body can withstand whatever the strength that you have and the leverage and everything. But when you get another 250, 300-pound guy pushing behind, I would think that's where the injuries would occur. And now you have it coming on both sides. Maybe that will be an injury concern.
Could be, but we don't know.
Yeah. So, and I'm kind of torn on this one, Bob. I'm starting to, because here's one thing. Maybe I sound like I'm too protective or too much of a traditionalist of the game, but I don't want it to start to look like rugby, like a rugby scrum. It just doesn't look like football. But I would say this. I think, and I looked it up, you can propose something like that to ban something or change a rule or whatever in consecutive years.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say let it go a year. Let's see what happens. And I would say, adopt the principle that you were talking about. The defense can push as well.
Yeah.
Because, look, that's just them fighting back. And I said this before. I think the tush push is incredibly innovative. It's so wise. And it's just somebody that kind of either stumbled on or just had been thinking about for a long time. And it works. It works really well.
Yeah.
So let the defense try to figure that out. But, I don't know if that explains it properly for the way I think about it. It just doesn't look like a football play.
No, and I get aesthetically, you're right. It doesn't. It looks like rugby, but it's effective. It works. The injuries to this point are almost non-existent. It's not any more dangerous than handing the ball to the ball carrier who's, 5 yards behind, 7 yards behind you, getting a running start and running right into the pile, and knees get blown out and, ankles get snapped. That's just part of the game, unfortunately. Is it more dangerous than that? I would say it's probably less dangerous. You don't have that full steam ahead of running full speed into a wall, if you will. Maybe the concussions are limited in this play. It's not, and that's the other thing. The play's not happening every single series.
Right.
It might happen if you're the Eagles. What does it happen? Like maybe 3 times in a game? Maybe.
Yeah.
If it's, 3rd and short, 4th and short, or it's a goal line situation.
Well, you're a linebacker, you're off the ball. Yeah, that's a much heavier collision. But like I said, you know, if you're blocking a guy and all of a sudden the force that's coming the other way is like 600 pounds, that could snap something or break something or whatever. I think, you know, that might be equally, you know, and these guys are used to the big collisions and everything. So, you know, I don't know. Jason Kelsey said that it took 2 years off his career. Now, did he like really mean that? Because the first time I heard that, because this is where I'm kind of in the middle, Bob, but, you know, I was like, maybe he's just saying that because he wants everybody to know how tough it was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just making that comment. And maybe if you ask him off, he'd be like, nah, I mean, I was just trying to make it sound like I'm a hero.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted some accolades.
Yeah.
That I haven't received with every endorsement I've got now and all the praise. Schefter thinks he was talking about this, explains why he believes the tush push will get banned.
But I think that the league feels like it's acting proactively to get rid of the tush push before anybody gets hurt on that play. And I know the Eagles have been lobbying teams, and they've been doing this for weeks and months to try to keep the rule. And I know you're going to need 24 votes, and I don't know where those votes are going to come from today, but if Roger Goodell is as against this play as I believe he is, and somehow, some way, I believe that Roger Goodell will find a way to come up with 24 votes to prevent the tush push from happening, and we probably will have seen the last of that play.
I hope he's wrong. That's lame.
Well, Roger Goodell he's an attorney. Okay, and I'm sorry, you know, it's coming up. I'm sure they're getting consultation from coaches and people because it's the owners.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to know, like, I want to hear from John Schneider and Mike McDonald and.
Well, we asked John about it,
people,
and they aren't. At least when we asked, they weren't on board with banning it.
They weren't against it.
Quickly, before we hit the break here, Frankie Louvu, who was last seen flying over the pile multiple times and then being threatened with the other team being awarded a touchdown if that nonsense kept going on. He was on Good Morning Football, and he talked about why the tush push should be banned because it's unfair for the defense.
My personal opinion, I think they should ban it. You know what I mean? But I know the argument is going to be about like, hey, well, you guys have to stop it. Don't get us in short yardage and whatnot. But I mean, it's kind of like a Chico play, man. You got Jordan Mailata on the right. You got, you know, it's pretty much the scrum in rugby. That's how I kind of look at it. And we got to have a scrum too on the other side. And the scrum is, you know, we have a cadence where we all go at once. It's not like you hard count and this and that where, you know, now you're getting us or myself jumping over the pile thinking that they're about to snap the ball. And that's just my own personal opinion, and I'm going to leave it at that.
So he
wants a backbreaker.
Yeah, so he wants to. Man. But at the same time, he's saying, well, you know, we think they're going to snap the ball, and they don't. Well, that's the whole thing, is deception. They don't want you to know their cadence. That's the entire game. You're going to be upset because you don't know.
That part didn't make sense.
Come on, man.
No, I don't think that part didn't make sense. I didn't say he was a Rhodes Scholar. I said he's a backbreaker, Bob. But, no, I don't know why he said that. But, yeah, I mean, what else is he going to say? That play beat them.
Yeah.
You know, so, and he tried to do something innovative. And at the time, I was like, good, okay, at least somebody's trying to do something.
I don't blame him. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
You know, and to this point, I just don't see the motivation other than we don't know how to stop it. I don't see any other. The injuries aren't there. They can't go, well, look at how many people have suffered injuries because of this play. Then I'm on board. Then I'm like, yeah, you're right. The rate is ridiculous. Guys are getting hurt left and right. It's the opposite. We haven't seen it.
Bob, it's not fair. They're better at it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it looks so lame.
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna say I would say let it go another year at least.
All right, coming up, the Mariners might not be getting enough credit when it comes to one aspect of their season. We'll tell you what that's about coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk.
A quick question / maybe unpopular take.
Yes.
I totally understand graduation gifts in high school.
Okay.
Here's $100, here's this, here's that. Like graduation gifts in college?
Why not? Almost more so, I think that would make sense.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you talked about setting someone up for the rest of their life. For the most part, you're going off for high school.
I mean, they've done
kids.
that with their degree. Like, God bless them. Do you think it's appropriate, like, collegiate graduation gift?
Because then you're actually, like, going out to start a real life.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
You know, after years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman here, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy with Dr. Wagner. And it helps with severe osteoarthritis, even bone-on-bone, loss of cartilage, rotator cuff, labrum, and meniscus tears. And really, it's about getting people back to doing all the activities they love without pain and, most importantly, without surgery. Dr. Wagner's 60-minute outpatient procedure uses your own stem cells, which can regenerate your own cartilage in your own joints. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience, and he's performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. And he's one of the few doing it the right way. So whether it's a shoulder, hip, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Get the facts, then get back in the game at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body?
Huh?
That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Lake Washington Windows and Doors makes it easy to enjoy new windows with clean glass technology now and defer paying for them until 2026 with zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 12 months. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Washington is leading the way in car theft reduction. Car thefts dropped by 32% from 2023 to 2024 in our state, but there's still work to be done. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips are brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
Are you still using allergy pills and sprays to treat your allergy attacks? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Nasal congestion, sneezing, runny nose, snoring, facial pain are just a few of the sinus symptoms we can help you out with. From allergy workups and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced outpatient balloon sinuplasty, we can diagnose and treat your problems. Let us help you get relief, easily, quickly, and permanently. Find us in Federal Way or Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. and that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
You're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 3 o'clock, El Hombre, Michael Bradley will join us on the program. Stay tuned for that. Again, the text line is there for you at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. Jeff Passan, we talked about him. He was on with Brock and Salk this morning, and just talking about what this team has done despite everything we just talked about, Dave. Everybody that's gone. I mean, 3/5 of your rotation is out. And then we talked about Raley. We talked about Robles. We've talked about Bliss. Dylan Moore was hurt for a while. Polanco is still not a guy you see hitting right-handed very often. He's dealing with injuries. So it's just they've really, to this point, they just got Matt Brash back. So they've overcome quite a bit. And he talked about the Mariners having the second-best record in the American League, all while their pitching is missing those 3 key arms.
The really exciting part is that George Kirby's coming back, and that Logan Gilbert's coming back, and that Bryce Miller's going to come back, and that all of a sudden this team that looks like arguably the second best team in the American League. I mean, you can go with them or the Yankees, but I think everyone's behind Detroit right now. But arguably the second best team in the American League as it stands right now is going to be adding 2 Cy Young caliber pitchers as well as a third starter who's got that potentially in his future. It's really exciting, and it should be. Like, people should be excited about what this Mariners team is right now, because I think they are playing like what we thought the best version of them could or would be.
Yeah, it is impressive. They're tied for the second best record in the American League with the Yankees. They're both 27-19. Detroit is 31-17.
Yeah.
They've got the best record. They're the best team record-wise in the American League. So, yeah, tied for the second best record in the AL, despite missing 3 of your 5 starters, throwing out young guys, throwing out Evans and Hancock. It's just in like Amina today. We'll see how it goes, but it's pretty remarkable just from the pitching side. Then you throw in, Robles was a fire starter for this team last year. He really brought a spark to that lineup, and he was that guy this year, at least to start the season. He's just got a different element. We talked about it a million times, that I don't know. There's an element to him that you don't see in other players. He's animated. He's got an energy to him. He's aggressive on the base paths.
He's a perfect leadoff hitter.
And he's a very good defensive outfielder. So that's a big miss there. And Bliss was playing good defense. Who knows what he would have brought offensively. Luke Raley got off to a bad start. He's a guy you were counting on for production, though. You don't have that opportunity to see if he's going to get the bat going. So, yeah, I mean, you're missing a ton on this team, and here you are. You won 9 series in a row. You did have a dreadful homestand, 1-5, and then you sweep the Padres on their home field and take the first one from the White Sox. So it's just they deserve a ton of credit for what they've been able to do, overcoming what they've overcome.
Well, and also I think the question that Mike asks is it sustainable? But, I mean, look, Ben Williamson, we were talking about how now he doesn't have a ton of power. His OPS is 590. He's hit 1 home run.
Yesterday was a good day for him, though, because he was hitting under 200 for the month of May, and he had 3 hits yesterday.
Yeah, so he went 3 for 4 yesterday, and he's got back up to about a 250 average. And then Rowdy Tellez. I mean, so when you look at those, I mean, JP is really the only infielder where you don't have, like a platoon almost going. I mean, Williamson's pretty steady, and so is Tellez. But, yeah, it's incredible. And the other thing is, I mean, you're going to get back. You could at some point have the exact same starting rotation that had number 1 in ERA, number 1 in quality starts, number 1 in hits given up, number 1 in walks, and number 1 in opponent batting average. And and there's many more. I mean, all of the, if you want to get into the weeds with all of the pitching stats. So, I mean, I don't see any reason why that they can't come back. And I'm not saying that they're going to get to number one, but, you know, be close to who they were last year. I don't think there's any reason to argue unless, you know, continue with the injuries, but it seems like they're handling that part well. But the biggest question, I think, is, you know, what can they do offensively? But hey, if they get Robles back and Rayleigh, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it maybe they do something at the trade deadline, but, you know, right now you look at their numbers offensively and they're good.
Yeah, they just you hope they can maintain it until the rotation's healthy.
They were like the White Sox last year. I mean, as far as their
offense,
slash, I mean,
it's terrible.
Ridiculous.
One more from Passon, just asked whether he believes this Mariners team is for real or not.
I think there's cautious optimism at this point because it still feels like the offensive end of things. It's not that it's not real. It's been going on now for too long for it to be not real. But I guess I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Well, he has been kind of a wet blanket, and that's what the last comment there, the other shoe to drop. But I don't know. That made some sense to me that it's gone on for too long.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. It's not like this is some kind of a 3-game winning streak or anything like that.
No,
like, they have the best road record of any team in Major League Baseball.
They're getting it done. They're finding ways, man. It's sometimes you feel like, all right, they might have been a little lucky here, a little lucky there, but that's, you know, how many times have they been unlucky? I mean, they've had games where they were just squaring the ball up and hitting it right at people and just couldn't get the ball to drop. I mean, Julio, 111 off the bat, missiled at third base. I mean, just sometimes it falls your way, sometimes it doesn't. I'll take it when it does, because you got to deal with it when it doesn't. So it should even out a bit, and hopefully they can just keep the offense going until the rotation gets healthy. That takes a little pressure off. Meanwhile, a potential tush-push ban, a reliever for the Phillies suspended. There's a lot to discuss with El Hombre. Michael Bradley's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Only Brock and Salk and Seattle Sports go one-on-one with Raiders head coach Pete Carroll. Dude, that still sounds so weird.
Are you kidding me?
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
What's happening, fellas? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too. It's been a while.
Yeah,
How are
I bet. Yeah. You haven't called me once. What are you talking about? Doing great. We're having a blast. The energy around this building is really familiar and really fun.
The whole conversation's on video. Watch it on YouTube or the Seattle Sports app.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. You'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now for peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut this May and June. At Queen Charlotte Lodge, it's fishing first class. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. And remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
Want to get rid of clutter and reclaim your space? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling for the greater Seattle area. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We prioritize donating and recycling, so we'll look for opportunities to do just that instead of going to the landfill. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, Call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with 0 investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners looking for another series win as they enter Game 2 against the Chicago White Sox this afternoon. They send Casey Legumina to the hill as the opener. We'll see how long he goes in this one as they are a win away from winning yet another series on this 10-game road trip. They swept the Padres, took Game 1 against the White Sox. You can catch all the action of this one beginning at 3:30 with the pregame show, 4:40 first pitch. Weather permitting right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Talking about weather, the Twins and Guardians have been postponed due to inclement weather. They are going to make that game up on September 20th. Other games set to get going. The Cubs will be on the road against the Marlins as the Pirates playing host to the Reds. Braves and Nationals get together. It's the Red Sox hosting the Mets. The Rays hosting the Astros. The Rangers on the road to take on the Yankees. Blue Jays and Padres get together in Toronto. A little bit of news out of the NFL. Joe Burrow, not a fan of playing the Baltimore Ravens every year on prime time. They play them on the road. They're going to play them on Thanksgiving against the Baltimore Ravens, and it's going to be back-to-back seasons that they're doing that. His team playing Baltimore in prime time for yet another year. He said playing in Baltimore for the 4th straight prime time year isn't ideal. Maybe we can get one of those in Cincinnati next year, please.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
Yeah, you know what you can get me, Pee-wee?
What?
El Hombre. That was a catastrophe.
I know.
That's a new low. Roz is better. El Hombre. The natural meets Rudy meets... I don't even know how to describe it. El Hombre.
He's here, everybody, every Tuesday, generally at 5 o'clock when we're not preempted by a Mariners game. He'll join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook hotline, but he's a little earlier today because of the pregame show coming up at 3:30. The one, the only, El Hombre. Michael Bradley is here with us. How are you, my friend?
What's happening?
I was just railing against the world about this whole tush-push thing, which I've got to imagine is a big talking point out there in Philadelphia because you guys are the best at it and the innovators of it. But it just, for me as a football fan, Michael, to see that the team that got their butt kicked by it, the Green Bay Packers, are the one leading the charge, and they've reworked the language on the proposal to make it more palatable, I guess, to the rest of the owners voting. To me, there's no impetus for it. There's nothing to point to and go, well, this is why. There's no injuries that are coming along at a high rate with this play versus other plays. So to me, the only rationale for wanting to ban it is we can't stop it, so it's not fair.
You're exactly right. And you know, I used to count the Packers among one of the sort of the franchises that I liked, you know, not Eagles. You know, if they're playing somebody, generally I'd root for them in the game if I'm watching it. But I've lost a lot of respect for them. I've lost a lot of respect for their coach, for their entire administrative organization. It's weak, and it's so amazing. It's nice that you had that little item from the quarterback of the Bengals, whose
Joe
name
Burrow.
escapes me in this. Joe Burrow. It makes sense that he went to that horrible place in Columbus for a year. This guy, I'm making $60 million a year, and I would have played in Baltimore instead. It's not nice. Would you stop it? Seriously. Play the damn games and then don't lose in the playoffs. How's that?
Yeah, by the way, was that the garbage disposal or a blender going in the
I think he's
background?
getting water.
Oh,
that's my guess.
No, I had to eat dinner early at 6 o'clock. I usually eat at 6. I had to eat at 5:50. I was doing a little cleanup, but I decided to stop, and I'll just talk to you guys.
Hey, Michael, there was something I heard somewhere. So it was secondhand from Kelsey and I did not hear this, but did he say that the tush push thing took a couple years off his career, or anything like that? I mean, was that serious?
I didn't hear anything like that, and I don't think it did because what did he play, like 12 years?
Yeah.
For a center? I think that what he was tired of was getting his brains beaten in every single play. It wasn't a tush push that took time off.
Yeah.
Maybe it did. I don't know, but I didn't see that. So look, I'm going to tell you something. This is really no different than a sneak. Quarterback sneak, the center goes right at the guy's legs to try to knock him down so the quarterback can get past him, whether he's being pushed or not. Again, we've seen football over the years have instances where certain plays are more successful for a little while, and then defenses figure out how to handle them, and that's it. You don't see a lot of wildcat anymore. That's gone. Why? Because they figured out how to do it. This year, defenses were a lot more successful in terms of stopping these high-powered offenses that are abetted by rule changes every year. So teams figure out how to do this, and what's going to happen is in training camp sometime, maybe this year, someone's going to say, aha, if we do this, then we got them. Yeah. Until then, the Packers are being just completely soft about this. It's unbelievable that this once proud franchise has dipped so low. And if I'm the Eagles organization, if I'm the owner of the Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie, every time we're going to play the Packers, I go in and give a pep talk that could raise the dead because I want them to lose every game. And here's the other thing. I don't know if the Eagles play them this year. I think they do because they play every NFC playoff team. I hope that they get up on them and start throwing deep late in the game. No kneeling. Beat the living tar out of them. I
thought you were going to say you hope the tush push is in action 7-8 times in the game.
They should run every play.
How often, we're obviously not seeing every Eagles game, so on average, how many times a game do you – because the way it's talked about, it's like it's this play that's just you can't stop it. It's going on left there. It's not that common. It's not happening every series. How would you say is it twice a game, once a game?
3 or 4. 3 or 4 at the most. I mean, now against the commies in the playoffs, it got egregious on the goal line because they were jumping off sides and there was all sorts of silly stuff going on. But it usually shows up 3 or 4 times a game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the Packers, why don't you worry about stopping the pass too? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Stop instead of crying. What's next? What are you gonna say? You're only allowed to send 3 people out in the pattern. You send 5. It's too hard for our defensive back. It's just unfair.
You know what the problem is? They hired a pretty boy coach, Matt LaFleur. I mean, he's a guy that talks about his eyebrow game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
they look finely manicured.
You know, exactly.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing, and I always say this. Women spend a lot of time on their eyebrows, right? Guys care about one thing. You got 2 of them, you're fine. Guys, we shouldn't worry about our eyebrows. If you're worried about your eyebrows, no wonder you want the tush-push stuff.
You got 2 of them, you're fine. That's great.
I remember in high school. In high school, I had the hair in the middle there.
You had one gone.
Oh my God! Yeah. And then I was like, I don't want to.
Nice.
I didn't want to shave it or pluck it or anything, and it just kind of went away. You know, if you pull them out.
Good.
But,
that's a good thing.
Hey,
you look like a
that's
caveman.
tough to carry around.
Real quick on that, we'll move on to something else. But what about the idea of just letting the defense push their guys? If the linebackers want to run into the back of the defensive lineman and do the same thing, would that solve it? Would that feel more fair for those that are feeling that this is egregiously unfair?
Let them bring a battering ram. Let them bring boiling oil. Whatever they want to bring. See, the problem with the way the Eagles do the tush push is they've got the back door, right? So Hurts will take a fake, and then he'll do a little pitch to Saquon Barkley as everybody from the defense crashes down into the middle of the line.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've got a bunch of variations off of it. So, it's tough to deal with. And if I'm the Eagles right now, I'd be diagramming 17 different ways to have tush-push, descendants, right? So you're not allowed to push the quarterback. You're lining up behind him. He takes a step like he's going to push him. All the Packers, you're not allowed to do that. And then you throw a pass or something. So you're going to come up with some new stuff it's going to work. But it's amazing that this thing's going to be outlawed. It really shows me that the Packers are weak, and that's obvious. And the rest of the NFL is filled with some people that have no sense of what's going on in the sport.
You know, it's going to be difficult, too, for teams late in the season when they shut it down as far as the pads, because I think in order to practice to stop that play, you got to go full speed. You got to figure out if you're low enough or whatever. And that's going to make it, I think, even harder to stop. It's kind of interesting, just because the NFL typically cuts it down. Hey, what about the flag football thing? And we were just talking about this, and just one of our best defender, maybe second or third, is a guy named Devin Witherspoon. And if he went to the Olympics and played flag football and blew out his knee, we would never forgive ourselves for wanting him there. But what do you think about that?
Look, there's several ways to look at this. Number one, when you talk to people, even if they're professional athletes, about the opportunity to represent your country in the Olympics and stand on the medal stand and hear the national anthem play and feel that gold medal around your neck, they say almost without exception that it is something that they'll never forget, and it's a significant highlight of their careers. So to give them that opportunity is tremendous. But you're right, the risk of injury is very high. However, you've got these guys that are out working out at all times during the regular season. They get into training camp and they do stuff in OTAs. So there's an awful lot of opportunities for injuries for these guys. I'll be interested to see who opts in. I can't imagine that a team of NFL players is going to have a real difficult time in pool play against Belgium in flag football. It's not like they're going to be having to play the best players in the league 40 minutes. I think they'll be able to mix it up pretty well so that no one player is seeing too much time. Can you imagine the first round? United States against Liechtenstein in the first round of flag football. It would be like the U.S. national team against Angola in '92 in the men's basketball. It'll be a whitewash. So I think that there'll be a great opportunity for them. Yeah, will there be some injuries? There might be. But these guys want to represent their country.
Unfortunately for you, Michael, there's been 2 players this year in Major League Baseball that have been suspended for violating Major League Baseball's drug policy, and one of them happens to be a reliever for the Philadelphia Phillies, Jose Alvarado. 80-game suspension. What's your reaction to that? I love it's every guy that does it. I didn't know I was doing it. He didn't do it knowingly. Nobody ever does it knowingly. But Jerks and Profar is the other guy that got suspended this year. But what's the reaction from you and the fan base out there?
Well, he's a cheater. He cheated. He let the team down. I have a friend who is a 30%. He and his family are 30% owners of the Phillies, and I was talking to him just yesterday about this, and he said, "Look, you can send a label of anything you're taking or a sample of it to Major League Baseball, and they will let you know within hours whether or not it is okay for you to use. So there is no question, unless you're just lazy and you don't want to do that, but there is no question about whether what you're taking or not is allowed, because you can find out instantly. So he didn't want to do that because what he was taking was wrong. So it's just that easy. And I think that where we are is this guy didn't, he came back in better shape, right? Lost some weight. He's pitching a lot better than he did last year. And, sometimes when that happens, they're doing some things they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, he's 30 years old. He has acne all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly. His head's gotten bigger. Right. And so, dude, we don't see you back. Sorry. Goodbye.
Well, it's amazing to me that, and then also the gambling thing, that that guys would. I mean, how important must it be? I mean, you must have a problem if you're. I think we heard one of the stories where the guy was stood to win like $600, and you look at his salary was like $300,000 or $400,000 or something. Yeah, it's just amazing to me that anybody would jeopardize.
Part of it is it's the action. You watch the end of Goodfellas, and you've got Ray Liotta standing on a step somewhere in Arizona complaining that he ordered spaghetti and meatballs, and he got, egg noodles with ketchup on it.
Yeah.
There's no action, right? There's no action. And I think a lot of these guys are addicted to that. And, the gambling industry is really, really insidious in what it's doing, because it's really trying to hook people through sports gambling to play the table games, because the house gets a much higher percentage of the winnings than it does in the table games. I mean, in the sports betting.
But Michael, there's an 800 number you can call if you get addicted to gambling.
They hook you, and then they tell you to call the 800 number. Seriously, that's like the Surgeon General's warning, right?
Right.
It's like, could you imagine today if somebody showed up at the FDA? Now, I mean, God knows who's running the FDA these days, but showed up and said, "I have a product. I want to get approved." Okay, what does it do? Well, you light it and you smoke it. Okay, well, what's the benefit of it? Well, there really isn't, except maybe some weight loss. Well, what are some of the detriments? Well, pregnant women can't come near it. And the secondhand smoke will kill the other people. And you're going to get lung cancer, emphysema, and other things. Can you imagine the FDA saying, "We're on board, let's go"?
Oh, man. Well, we'll see how these I'm curious to see how the rules go, getting back to the NFL for a moment, and we'll see if I'm hoping it falls short. We'll see if they try to reword it again, maybe for next year, or maybe they just, as we all talked about, they learn how to defend the tush push. I don't know why it bothers me so bad. The Seahawks don't run it. They haven't really faced it, but it's just the idea of it being a play that somebody can't stop. So they said, "Hey, not fair. Not fair. We can't stop it." So we'll see what goes on. And
the injuries are not there.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Are not there.
I would have a completely different take if that were the case. Hey, guys are getting carted off left and right. This is not good. Hey, you're right. I'm with you. But that's not the case.
They outlawed the horse collar, right? Because people getting I got my fibula fractured in the Turkey Bowl last year on a horse collar. So yeah, I did. It's illegal.
What kind of
should
friends
be
are those?
illegal. I get it.
Did they throw a flag on the guy? Did he get kicked out of the game?
No, he's like my best friend too. I'm back. I went to the doctor last week and I'm cleared for full activity. I'm back.
By the way, are you still doing the dive you were doing, the big splash competition you would do?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I can't find a 10-foot board, but I do it off the small board. Also do a thing called the lemon drop. You get to the very edge of the board, crouch down, wrap your arms around your knees, and then just fall into the water. That creates a little bit of a splash too.
Yeah, he's a regular competitor in these splash competitions.
Sounds like we're talking to a 12-year-old.
Yeah, all the meaningless activities I'm good at. Balancing a bottle on my head, belching the alphabet. I can do all these.
And you can do the king tut off the board, the tut.
Precisely.
So good. He is El Hombre, Michael Bradley, with us each and every week. You find him here every Tuesday. You can find him on Twitter at Daily Hombre, on Twitter. Michael, we appreciate you, my friend. Thanks so much. We'll do it again next week.
So long, suckers.
Yeah, he
is like a large child.
Yeah, he's not a big dude, but he sent me a video once. I'll have to see if it's still on the phone, but of him doing the tut. He goes, I did a couple tuts out there, king tut. He calls it that.
The thing with a dancing thing, or
no, I guess just his form. I'll see if I can find the video, but it's for a guy that weighs about 156 pounds, pretty big splash. I have to give him credit.
Maybe get him and Lefko with a cannonball competition.
I don't know. He's got experience. I think Lefko would lose.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in a competition.
Remember in Coneheads, where the girl's a diver and she just goes in perfectly and there's not even a ripple. Or anything?
I never saw that movie.
That'd be Lefko.
Yeah, that'd be Lefko.
Yeah,
he'd be a conehead. All right. Our thanks to El Hombre. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at SeattleSports.com. Meanwhile, a couple things going on around the world of Major League Baseball. Juan Soto, he of the 15-year, $765 million deal, is being called out for not hustling. He's done it a couple times, but he hit a ball off the green monster that I think he thought it was out. And the Mets manager has said, he's going to talk to Juan Soto about not hustling out of the batter's box. He watched they term it his would-be home run bounce off the green monster for a single. So he was kind of Cadillacing it out of the batter's box thinking, oh, yeah, that's out.
Well, it ended up costing him later, right? Because I think he could have gotten advanced to third, and then there was an RBI or something, so or opportunity for one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just surprising to me. Number one, I've heard good things from Ryan Rowland-Smith about Juan Soto and, high character guy. Now, I don't know that this is an indictment on his character or anything like that, but it is kind of weird that, you should know everything about a ball coming off the green monster, right?
Yeah.
If that's where you're going to hit, you should realize that, hey, man, that thing's going to come off there fast and you might get held to a single.
Well, it says
you got to hustle.
Soto hit a 102-mile-an-hour line drive to left and stood watching as it sailed toward the 37-foot high wall. The ball hit about two-thirds of the way up, and Soto was able to manage only a single.
Right.
And then their manager, Carlos Mendoza, said he thought he had it. But with that wind and all of that in this ballpark anywhere, but in particular this one with that wall right there, you've got to get back. You got to get out of that box. So, yeah, we'll discuss that. So he stole second on the first pitch, and the next batter ended up stranded on third. He denied lollygagging on the base path, as they write here.
Lollygaggers.
He said, quote, I think I've been hustling pretty hard. If you see it today, you can tell. And then they just talk about, how the Green Monster guys will tank a ball, just square it up, but it turns into a single because it's so short, hits the wall so rapidly that they're not going to turn that into extra bases.
I have to say, I love that about baseball.
Yeah.
I love that you go into a park and, you got to get your outfielders out there. Remember, the most ridiculous thing was it Boot Hill?
Houston. Of course it was the Astros.
Yeah, it was ridiculous that you had a sloped hill, basically. And wasn't there a flagpole there or something?
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense to me. But I do like it. You have the Crawford boxes in Houston now, and then, every ballpark has something.
Yeah, you got the Green Monster, you got Pesky Pole, you got every ballpark is unique in the way the little crevices in the outfield, little corners here and there, and how the ball's going to play. So, yeah, it also says he failed to run hard out of the box on a ground out Sunday night at Yankee Stadium as well. And then Mendoza just said, yeah, we're going to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
So
somebody kind of well, you know what? It was Polanco. Polanco he hit one directly at either the shortstop or second baseman. But you know what? I don't want him busting out it's 99% that's good. He's going to be thrown out at first.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, okay, with your injury and everything, go ahead and coast.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on where in the game it happens. If it's early, nobody's on, no score, okay.
Right.
But if, hey, man, we need you on first. We need a runner.
Yeah.
I want him to bust it. And then one other bit of news. Two-time Gold Glover, former Seattle Mariner, Colton Wong has officially retired from baseball. He's
what was he batting when he came in here? What was his average when he came in here?
While with the Mariners?
No, before.
Oh. I don't.
That was the magic number. I want to say it was like 275 or something.
Brady's saying 250 in the back.
250?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
why speculate? Let's look.
Probably 170, 180. I don't know.
Oh, he was terrible.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It was one of those didn't deliver the numbers on the back of his card.
And more importantly, it was his defense was dreadful the year before. He had, 17 errors, I think? And we brought on their beat reporter, and the guy told us, actually, it could have been worse. He got some favorable hometown scoring.
Well, the other thing, too, wasn't he a Gold Glove at some point?
Two-time Gold Glover, yeah.
Yeah, that's mystifying.
I just remember we brought – he was a really nice guy. This is not ripping him as a person. He was really cool. But I remember we had him on and brought up, hey, defensively last year a little rough, and he's talked about the shift.
Oh, the shift being –
remember? Yeah. He's like, well, I'm feeling the ball at a different angle, and I'm thinking, yeah, but the shift wasn't new that year. It had already been in play for a few years, and that was the reason that he struggled. He hit $165 for the Mariners, a 241 on base, 2 home runs, 19 runs driven in.
Well, good for him. He had a nice career there, and we don't want to remember him for that. Like you said, nice guy. Played 11 years.
Yeah, had some good moments, so good for him, but officially calling it a career. So there goes Colton Wong. We'll see what he maybe ends up coaching or something. We'll see. Meanwhile, that's going to do it for us. You got the Mariners and White Sox coming up, weather permitting. We're going to turn you over to the pregame show coming up next. Casey Legomina is going to be the opener for the Mariners coming up. We're going to talk to you tomorrow, or we could talk to you later today. We'll see how the weather goes. It's Wyman and Bob right here, Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk.
The great Daniel Jeremiah.
Hey, by the way, there's a lot, I did not know this, but there are a lot of transplants from Seattle down in San Diego and Southern California. And I've had a handful of people that I'm friends with that listen religiously to your show on the app down here. So
I'll tell you what.
You guys for making me popular in my friend group.
The day I get fired or retire, I will be joining you and all of those expats in San Diego.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Well, here in our region, it's really common for homes to have damaged insulation or even no insulation at all in their crawl space or attic. Well, in the winter, that'll make your home cold and drafty. And in the summer months, it can turn your home into an oven. It's Mike Salk here, and utility companies have special incentives right now to help with the cost of having your home properly insulated, including a once-in-a-lifetime rebate from Puget Sound Energy. So if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yes, they will cover up to 95% of the cost. And if you're anything like me, you love the idea of somebody else paying to improve your home, add value to it, and save you money along the way. How good does that sound? Don't wait. Call Crawl Pros to learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free, and then what energy rebates you're eligible for. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Well, this is pretty fun for me. Normally, Shannon O'Kelly and I are talking physical therapy, but today we are talking First Mark Insurance. You made the call to First Mark. You took the challenge. Why?
Brock, I was looking for a local agency that I could align with similar values, and they've helped us here at IRG. They shop different plans. They find the best plan for you, the best price, the best coverage, great customer service, and great connectivity.
Did they save you any money along the way?
Absolutely, they saved us money. Obviously, here at IRG, I have several needs in the insurance industry, and they look at those needs A to Z, and they find out what kind of coverage you need, what is the best coverage, at what cost, and they're always looking to save money. And again, it's all about providing my company, IRG, great customer service.
Well, Shannon and IRG, they took the challenge. Molly and I, we took the challenge. Are you confident that your business is getting the very best when it comes to your insurance needs? If not, take the First Mark Challenge today, and it's totally free. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com, your teammate that goes to work for you. Firstmarkinsurance.com. Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
Find out more at silverreefcasino.com.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Let's go! This is Seattle